cold, ain't it? Look at here. It's just snow. Yeah. See? It's just snow. Probably cold on your paws, ain't it? Oh. Hey. We recently started letting her go outside, but she's only been outside when it's normal weather. She doesn't really like that. She went outside the other day when there was ice, but it was only partly ice. There was still bare grass, so she's not too keen on the snow. I don't blame her. Is it cold, baby? Come on, baby. Come on. It's too cold. Yeah, it's too cold on your feces. I know. You don't like that, do you? Hey, baby. Come here. Hey. Ooh, your coat is cold. Yeah. That feel good? That feel good? Now you want to go? Oh, I know what you want to do. She likes to put her paw out through the door. Let's see if she'll do that. See, I like to play. I like to play. What you think? Let's turn it around. What you think? Hmm? Hmm? I'm right here. I'm not going nowhere. Whenever we do go outside, though, it's funny because she'll stop every few feet and sit down and let me walk up to her, I guess, to keep up. Oh, are you not going? Taking it bit by bit, huh? Bit by bit. Oh, stretch. Gotta stretch. Get my claws sharp. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. Oh, no. You don't like that. I know, baby. You need some little cat booties, don't you? For your feetsies. For your little feetsies. Got little tiny paws. What's that? It's down there too, so if you jump down, you're gonna land right in it. Yeah, you're gonna land right in it. I know, baby. I know. It's not what you expected, was it? She was thinking the door's gonna go and I'm gonna run out because she's been getting used to that. Used to, she would wait inside, but now when we open the door, she'll kind of dash out if we're not careful and don't watch her. So, which is fine because the more and more I have her, the longer I've had her, I don't want to keep her inside all the time. I thought about like, yeah, you got a forever home, you get fed, you get taken care of, and get love, and then you're just stuck in a house until you die. And it's like they need to get outside. Even indoor pets need to get outside. So, hey, baby, hey, sweet girl, you're such a good girl. You know that. That's my pumpkin. That's my pumpkin. With my little short legs. I got little short legs. Yes, I do. Hey, sweetheart. When we adopted her, my daughter had another cat that was like hers. Her mother has many cats, so they had several at the time. But one was like this is my cat, and her name was Persimmon. And for anybody that doesn't know what a persimmon is, you can look it up. But it's like a fig almost. Like we have persimmon trees down here, and yeah, they're like a fig. So anyway, that was her name. And if you'll look, there's the top of the little cross where she is buried. this is when my daughter was still living with her mother full time, and the cat got really sick, had cancer, and they had to put it. It was either no, it wasn't cancer, it was something else, but she had to get surgery, and it was like $2,000, and of course they couldn't afford it. I didn't have the money, and so they said the options are do the surgery or put the cat down. Well, the cat had to be put down, and of course my daughter was heartbroken. My ex-wife took pictures. They put the cat in this bag so you can bury the cat, and it's like a kind of like a biohazard bag, so you don't get any germs or bacteria. But it's at least it doesn't have, it's not like orange and got big symbols all over it. It's just a real dark like bag that closes. Once they close it, it's closed, and they give it to you so you can take it home, bury it, do what you like, and so there, she's got a picture of her holding that bag on her lap when she got home, so she could like hold her one last time, and it killed me. So when we moved into this house, which is where my ex-wife lived before she moved into her new place, this is like my family's house. We own it. My daughter and I moved back in here when I got custody of her, and the cat had been buried in the yard. Hey, hello, how you doing, everybody? But so right there in the yard is where the cat had been buried, but there was no marker, no grave marker, except where you could see where the ground had been dug up. So when we moved in, I was like, show me where your cat's buried. And we made a little, like a grave marker and a little, put a little cross together out of little wood sticks and put it in the ground. But the cross is like 2 feet high, like 24 inches at least. And it snowed so much yesterday, it almost covered that completely up. We were only supposed to get like 5 to 7 inches, but it completely covered up the cross, as you can see. But yeah, that's where her previous little cat was buried. And I don't know, it just, every time I look at it, I think about my daughter having to give up her pet like that. And, that's why I didn't have a pet for a long time. But, hey, girl. Come here. You don't look around like you don't know who's calling you. Come here, right here. Hey, sweetie. You see our spot that's where the wall's caving in and the floor underneath it. We got to fix because my ex-wife didn't take care of my family's house while she lived here for rent-free for 7 years after our divorce. But that's neither here nor there. There's shingles missing, vinyl siding missing. The storm door was busted, all the glass busted out, frame sitting there. Because when I moved in, she just left the frame there with glass hanging out, things that ex-wives do, taking care of your stuff after you let them have it for free so you can take care of the kids. North Carolina snow. Last time it snowed like this was when my daughter was born. She's 11 now. And when she was born, she lived in the NICU for 4 months, the first 4 months of her life. So I had to drive in that after work one night to go see her. Hey, sweetie. Hey, baby girl. Hey, little girl. What you doing? Yeah, I baby talk. So what? I love my animal now. I love my girl. I love my girl. What you doing, Curious? Curious kitty, I'm gonna jump on my table. You jumping over there? Oh, you want me to open your window? She's got little quirks that she likes. She likes having the windows open so she can look out of them. All right, look, hey. Look, hey, over here. Pumpkin. Yeah, right over here. Look. It's open. She's like, whatever. I was just wanting you to do something. See if you do it, big boy. Hey, Squirt. Hey, Squirt. Hey, Squirt. And I was never a cat person coming up. We hunted a lot, so we raised hunting dogs and, labs, beagles, and Boykin Spaniels for bird dogs and stuff, but like I was almost raised to hate cats. Anybody that knows about old redneck guys who cats jump on their cars at night and they wake up in the morning and find paw prints all over their hood, you know exactly what usually their remedy for that is get some steel traps or a 22. So that's the way I was raised to think of cats. And well, you see the birds? Hey, look, let's open this. The last year, actually 2024, the year before last, my daughter kept saying, "Can we get a cat?" And I was like, "No, of course not." And this is not cotton. That's just little things of what's it called? Snow on leaves and all. But anyhow, my daughter was like, "Can we get a cat?" I was like, "No, no, no, of course not. Hate cats. Don't want them in my house. Don't want them around. You can't keep them outside. So no." And over, look, girl, is that comfy? Is that comfortable, girl? You can put your feet down on, there you go. Split level. She's split level. So anyhow, we kept going to the pet store, and she would go look at the cats. And, you know, I think all animals are pretty or cute in their element at certain times, especially kittens, little animals and all. But, you know, when an animal gets full grown, a lot of them, they kind of lose their cuteness, so to speak. And people are like, now, you know, this is, like, the cuteness is gone. Now it's like time to just take care of it like a normal animal. And, just something about Pumpkin. There was her and a little male cat. There was her and a boy. And I wanted to get both. And we tried to go back and adopt the boy like a week later. And what's so crazy is we adopted her, paid the money, got her. She had already had her shots, all that stuff. We got the paperwork. And they were like, she's just recently been spayed. There's a little tattoo where her incision was, and there's stitches. You got to have the stitches taken out. So we go to the vet, and they're like, "What do you need done?" I'm like, I need the stitches taken out. She had the spade procedure done, whatever. And they're like, "Okay," and they take her back. They're back there for like a half hour, and they come up, and they're like, "Listen, even for a regular visit, something just this small, it's got to be like a $50 minimum, and we know we told you it was only going to be like $25, but we got to charge you $50, and we'll just put a $25 in your, like, credit on your account." And I'm like, y'all, it's stitches. All you got to do is take the stitches out. They may not even be ready to come out. And they're like, "Yeah, but just to walk in the door, we got to charge you $50 minimum for a debit card unless you use cash." So I'm like, whatever, just forget it. And then the vet comes out to the front and is like, "What stitches are you talking about?" I'm like, "I have no clue. There's a tattoo somewhere. She won't let me pick her up. I've never picked up a cat before. I don't know how to hold them. But somewhere on her underside, there's stitches that need to come out." She's like, "There are no stitches. These are the kind that dissolve. They're already gone. There's no need to bring her in." So I'm like, all right. And I had given them all the paperwork saying she's had her shots, all this stuff, because you can't bring an animal to a vet now without proving they've had their shots and stuff. They won't take them back. So I leave. I don't think anything else about it. The next week rolls around. We go up to the the pet store where we adopted her. And we're like, "Hey, we want to adopt. Am I a lesbian? Is your mom lesbian, dude? What the fuck are you talking about? Go fuck yourself, you chink. This is why I hate smart-ass motherfuckers. Are you lesbian? Yeah, dude, because I banged your bitch mom or your sister or whoever." Yeah. So anyhow, we go to adopt the boy, and we're like, you know, we want to adopt him. We've got the money for the fees, all this stuff. Then they go, "Okay, do you have any animals in your house?" This is where I slipped up, because when we adopted Pumpkin, of course, we didn't have any other animals in the house. So I put, "No, we don't have any other animals in the house." Good. Went right through. Application was approved. We got her. So you funny. Are you black? Do I look fucking black, dude? Do I look like a fucking lesbian? If you're going to be a smart ass, I'm going to block you. Quit being a smart ass, dude. I'm just trying to fucking talk about just simple shit, and you want to be stupid. You must be some kid or something. Do you do bad things to your cat? Yeah, I do bad things to your mom, dude. Get the fuck off of here. I'm blocking your ass. There you go. How about that, smart ass? Okay, so anyways, I had to get rid of this whatever the fuck they are, dumbass. So anyhow, we're filling out the paperwork and it says, do you have any animals in the house? Yes, I've got her in the house. We've got one cat. It says, have all your animals had their rabies shots, all this other stuff? I'm like, check, yes. All the stuff's been done because when we adopted her, all that stuff had just been done. We just went to the vet. All that stuff has to be done to be seen. So yes, she's got all of her shots. So then they're like, okay, we need to see the paperwork or the forms proving that she's had all of her shots. And I'm like, well, okay, we just adopted her from here. So of course you've got to have that on file here, because why would you just automatically give someone the only copies of paperwork that you've got that proves something like that? Like, yeah, you'd have to have copies to show, yeah, when the cat was here, everything was legit, and then we sold it, and it was legit when we sold it, and so there's no excuse to whatever. We've got the paperwork. So they're like, the only copies we have showing that they've had their rabies shots, or, you know, the spayed thing, or neutered, or whatever, depending on if it's a male or a female, we give those papers to whoever adopts them, if they are adopted. So I'm like, all right, I'll call the vet's office where you had it done, get them to print out, hey, this animal was spayed or neutered here, or had their rabies shots here, and prove it. So they're like, we had it done at such and such animal hospital or clinic or whatnot. So I call there. They're like, yeah, we don't keep those papers. When we do rescues like that, we do the procedure. We take the papers, that because it's all handwritten, you know. It's like a pre-printed page, and then they just check off boxes and then sign at the bottom. They say we give all of that to the company, place, shelter, whatever that's got them to put them up for adoption, and they hold them until they adopt them, then they give them away. That's only copies. And I'm like, y'all are making something that should be so simple difficult. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to give this animal a permanent home, a family, somewhere to be taken care of, so it's not in a box all day. Because, you know, when you go to these places, these animals that are waiting to be adopted, they're sitting in cages that are less than, you know, it's like the size of a stove all day long. They use the bathroom in there. They eat in there. So imagine having to eat where you've just taken a shit. And a lot of them, yeah, you'll look and you'll see like their litter box, and then they've got the food bowl right behind it or on the same level. And it's like, y'all, like, do you not know the difference between putting the feces and stuff down at the bottom, put the food up high? But a lot of these places don't have multi-level cat boxes and stuff. They've got just a little kennel, and they shove the animal in there. They stay there all day. At nighttime, they take them in the back. They put them in an even smaller one, or just wheel that one in the back, because I've seen these big mobile things that they've got like all the boxes, the cubicles in there, and then they just wheel it in the back. So it's like, I'm trying to help this animal. Like, you know, and the woman's got like this vest on, it's got all these buttons, and I love animals, all this dumb shit. And it's like, okay, you're an animal person. Like, can you not just like overlook that this is okay? Because we just adopted the animal here. Do you put animals up for adoption that have not had their shots and stuff like that? And they're like, no, we don't. Every animal that comes through here has to have it by law, or we can't put them up for adoption. You know, we've got to show that they've either had it done or that we've done it. So it's like, okay, so you know the animal I've got is safe. I said, well, let me ask you this. What if I would have lied on the application and said I didn't have any animals in there? And they go, oh, well, you know, if you would have said you didn't have any animals, then it would have gone through. And I'm like, well, give me a new set of applications. I'll put my middle name instead of my first name, so it looks like a different person. Or I'll let my daughter fill it out and put her name, and we'll check. We don't have any animals. No, sir, sorry, I can't do that since you've already put it on the first one that you do have an animal. I can't let you. So we don't get the cat. And my daughter, of course, is heartbroken. She's like, you know, that. And what if another reason that we wanted to get the little boy cat is between those two because we were sitting there like playing with both of them, seeing how they acted, and both of these cats were like, we were drawn to them. We're like, hey, they would be a good pet for things. We think we could give them a good home and love them and all. So they were right beside each other. Like they were sticking their paws out, playing. So there was that little connection there. We had already seen him. We had been seeing him several days, and it broke our hearts to have to leave the cat there. But it's like you've got these stupid rules, and they're stupid. Don't anybody wants to be like, let's just protect people from getting rabies and doing all this? Like, what's the difference between going in a parking lot to go get your groceries at like Food Line or something, and there's cats out there stray, and you take it into your car, and say they've got an old collar, a little tag that they've had their record done. Like you just don't get like, you know what I'm saying? Like people get animals so many different ways, and then you have these places that talk about like, we need to be able to get rid of strays by giving animals better homes and people not throwing them out and adopting them properly and doing all this stuff so that we can fix this problem. And there is a problem with stray animals. I'll be honest with you. When I went to Food Line the other day, there's a little fence that's at the corner of their parking lot. This is like a big parking lot, and it's where nobody parks at the very end. And on the other side of that fence, you can see a little game trail, but it's not from wild animals and deer and stuff like that running through it. And it's where these half tame, half feral cats walk back and forth every day, and there's probably a dozen or more, because people feed them there in the parking lot. I've done it myself. I've gone over there and just bought food in the store and brought like, wet food, and then put some treats out, some dry food so they can clean their teeth, and because there's tons of them, and you can tell these are not all feral or wild. There's one or two that's probably, they were either born after the cat was thrown out, or it was a litter that was born like while the cat was living outside, and so they're a little bit wilder and they don't come to people. But like the older cats that are there, you can tell they were somebody's pet and they were just thrown out. And it's really sad to me that, and I'll say this, going back to the way that I was taught growing up about animals, and this, don't take this the wrong way, anybody. I would much rather put an animal down that I know for 100% matter of fact that is going to suffer until they die, rather than let them suffer until they die, or suffer and suffer and suffer until they're dead. I'd rather put them down and end their misery or prevent their misery before it even happens, rather than doing that. So rather than throwing an animal out, say they had an old animal and it was sick and they didn't feel like taking it to the vet and putting it down, they're like, I don't want to actually kill it, so I'm just going to let it go in the wild. Just going to let it naturally die on its own. It's like, no, that cat's going to starve to death because it's not going to be able to hunt. And if it's sick or something's wrong with it, it's going to get sicker and sicker and sicker, and eventually just sit there and lay down until they die. So you talking about dying from thirst or starvation or whatever, you're talking about a miserable death. I mean, at least if they go to the vet, shelter somewhere, and they get euthanized, it's rather humane. And I use that word very lightly because nothing is humane about killing something before it dies naturally. Nothing's humane about that. I'll just, it is what it is. It's more humane, but it isn't humane by definition. So, whatever. But, yeah, I love my cat now. It's really changed my perspective a lot, living with an animal like that I normally would not have ever adopted or had. And it's because of my daughter. My daughters have changed a lot of things about me since I've had them. So, and I guess that's kind of a blessing in disguise, because I always thought like, yeah, I'm gonna have boys and they're gonna be just like me. Thank God I didn't, because that probably would not have been the best thing, because everybody's got their past, but my heart has really kind of softened over the last decade to 15 years. My oldest is 16 years old, and even with her, you know, I was still kind of like I had been raised and kind of rough around the edges. But when my youngest daughter was born, and you know, she started getting old enough where she could talk and convey her personality and things. And my oldest daughter she's real sweet and loving and caring. She likes animals, but she's a little bit more like me in the fact that she's real cut and dry, real matter of fact, pragmatic. You know, yeah, something suffer and kill it. Something like, you know, if it's intruding on the property or walking on the car, trap it, put it down. My little one is like, no, you know, let's feed it and bathe it and do all this stuff and take it in. And if not, let's, you know, she's a lot more, yeah, I guess empathetic. I hate that word, but sympathetic to other beings, causes, and lives. All right, well, it's time to go get out in the snow a little bit and straighten up outside, see if I can get rid of some of this ice because I about busted my ass. But I appreciate you subscribing. Hello to everybody. I hope I didn't miss anyone. I appreciate everybody that stopped by. And again, like I said, this is nothing but just, you know, giving my little 10 cents on stuff like this, in my opinion. She's looking out her window. She loves looking out her window. Here, I'll look a little bit better, baby. Get a back scratch. Oh, yeah. Say, leave me alone, Daddy. You bothering me. You bothering me. Hey, sweetie, you want me to get you something to lay on? Hold on. Hold on. Let me get you something to lay on. Where is... I know where it's at. Let's see. There's a towel to lay on. Oh, yeah, I guess you're getting a tour of the inside of my house. Not much to see, but, you know, whatever. All right, sweetie, here. I'll put this close to the window if you want that. Is that better? Say, oh, yeah, that's better. That's better. Let me see if I got any more of you little tuna treats. Hold on. Here. That guy being a smart ass on here talking about you do things to your cat and stuff like that. Like, go get the fuck out of here, dude. People are so stupid, it's unreal to me. Like, what would possess somebody to say something foul and just idiotic like that? I mean, I understand teenagers and young kids are, oh, she sees a treat. Hey, baby. But like, even when I was a teenager and back when I was young, being a smart ass, like, yeah, I said rude things or condescending or sarcastic stuff to people sometimes, but not just filthy out of being stupid and for no reason. Like, get real. But again, that's why I blocked them and deleted the shit. So just respect people. That's one thing, or one of the things that has changed a lot for me over the last several years is there's no reason to disrespect somebody just to do it, just to get a laugh out of it or a kick, you know. That's so stupid. Guy asking me, are you a lesbian? Are you a lesbian? Are you black? And like, I videotape my face and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, do I look black to you? Do I look like grow the fuck up. Oh, that's wrong. Yeah, there we go. Maybe I'll leave the camera on a little bit while we go outside. So y'all can take a look at the pond out here. Take y'all to see the pond out here where it's froze over. Maybe we can get some entertainment out of throwing rocks on the ice. My daughter and I tried that the other day. We went out there and it was, come on, frozen over. And I thought the ice had to be like completely from like shore to shore, like completely cover the top. But it stopped about like that far from the actual bank. And I guess it was just free floating the big piece that we were throwing them on, because as soon as it would hit it, would whoa, 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 like making that steel cable noise. We've got somebody who's looks like Korean, if I'm checking out the alphabet correctly. So hey to you, how you doing? Brent subscribed. Thank you for subscribing, Brent. 4450. I'm trying to think of some things that would be interesting to talk about, because this for me, getting on YouTube, it's I'm never going to make money from it. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. So to me, it's more just like a hobby or something fun to do. Maybe being able to share experiences or stories, and somebody can, if they don't get entertainment out of it, maybe get an idea for something. Say they're doing something outdoors or with an animal or with their house, and they hear something that I've done or do or like or whatever, and they're like, hey, that's a neat idea, maybe I should try that. I've learned a lot of stuff off of YouTube in the last several years, and that's the straight up truth. When I was in school, I hated to learn. Like a lot of people, they hate school. My daughter doesn't like school at all, and she loves to learn. She just hates school, and I don't blame her. Especially public school. Public school is a joke these days. It's just an indoctrination factory to prep you and prepare you to be a nice little slave and work 8 to 4, 9 to 5, whatever, for the rest of your life until you're too old to have any fun. Then you can retire and live off of the money you've saved, even though the government says, well, we're giving you Social Security. You pay that your whole life, so whatever. But, like, book-wise, outdoors, vehicle-wise, all kinds of stuff. You can find anything on YouTube and the internet. Oh, hold on, sweetheart. Now look back. I'm just seeing how high up it needs to be. But yeah, like, you can find all kinds of shit on here, and it's free. Most of it's free, unless it's somebody's Patreon. Oh, I still didn't get. And you can pause it and rewind and do all that stuff, and like I think that's awesome, dude. Like, why not be able to learn stuff on your own and teach yourself, or teach yourself with somebody else's experience or videos. So yeah. Or like I said, at the least, get some entertainment, some entertainment. Entertainment, not infotainment. I guess I'm talking like Andrew Caldwell now. Where is in my pocket, of course. In my pocket, like always. And if I bust my ass, y'all better not laugh at me, because god damn it, I have a feeling I'm about to bust my ass if I don't put some salt down. Oh, and another thing, that ice melt stuff that they sell at the gas station, and I'm not going to use any names, but these and the ones that they own, one of them starts with an S and ends with a way. That ice melt stuff, I put a shitload of it out last night after it had started to snow. Nothing. And I put it out before also. Didn't melt anything. So, use that information how you want to. But table salt, I always have luck with table salt. I just take a big thing like this of it, sprinkle it out, and then in a few hours it's melted right through. don't know how good that is for your porch, depending on, you know, what kind of material your porch is made out of. Mine's wood. It's treated, but it's, you know, it's kind of old now. It's at least 10 years old, so. Whoa. Hey now. Okay. I know y'all are probably tired of looking at my face. Okay, Jesus Christ. Yeah, always keep a few extra things of salt, stuff like that in your cabinet. Cooking spray, and I don't mean just for cooking and stuff, of course, obviously, I'm looking at this, but alright, well, give it a little bit of time. We'll come out here and see if it's melted, but right now, check out the sky for a minute. Give me 1 second, put my hood on, because it's cold out here. Jesus Christ. It's only 10 degrees, it ain't that cold. Yeah, we got it good, didn't we? When it first started, I was like, man, it ain't gonna be shit. We got a good little bit. Good little bit of snow. If we hadn't had the ice storm last weekend and the cold snap, this wouldn't have been, it wouldn't have stuck like this. The ground's been so cold all week. As soon as it started to come down, it stuck immediately. And I'll tell you what's crazy. I've never, take that back, not never. Only at specific times when it has snowed have I ever been able to like see the shape of these snowflakes. You know, when people zoom in and you see pictures and science books and internet and TV, whatever, you know, they're very intricate, and that's why in school you can fold a piece of paper and cut it certain ways, and they're geometric designs and patterns, so you can use a few little shapes and it makes the entire piece. So yesterday, night before, excuse me, when I was at work, I had a big snowflake fall on my jacket or on this thing that was outside in front of the store, and I zoomed in on it. You could see it's like a perfect shape, like 5 or 6 point star, and I was like, wow, dude, I've never seen them this clearly defined with the naked eye. And I was like, that's wild. So I zoomed in, took a picture. So yesterday my daughter and I are out here and it's snowing, and a snowflake falls on her jacket, and it's like a single one, and it sticks right on the front of it, and we look and it's a perfect 6-pointed star. And I mean, not like, oh, that resembles one. I'm talking about it was a perfect 6-point Star of Remphan, Star of David, whatever you want to call it. The Jewish looking symbol star, 6 points, is exactly what it was. And I was like, that's weird. And I didn't have my camera on me because I was like, I need to go get my camera. Nobody's going to believe this. And then another one, and then another one. And like her jacket was covered and all the snowflakes looked almost exactly alike. And I was like, they say that these things are all individual and no two are alike. And I'm like, man, a lot of these look really close. And I was like, I wonder if that's a thing, like they're all like super, super close, but they're not identical, like they're just very similar. But a lot of these looked identical. And I mean, 6-pointed stars exactly. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's a conspiracy. They're dropping Jew star shape. No, it's nothing like that. Nothing like that. I'm just saying, I've never seen them shaped so perfectly and like it just sat there on her jacket, and I was like, we were walking around, and she's playing in the snow, and she's like, look, it hasn't fallen off yet, and it just stayed there, and I was like, dude, that thing is crazy. And then like we looked at other ones and like got real close and looked at her jacket, and they, like I said, they were all over the jacket, and they're all shaped the same. So, and I know that the geoengineering has been a big thing for the last couple of weeks, and I noticed all of the streaks in the air and all the lines in the air prior to this weather. The week before, or last weekend, when we had it, the week prior leading up to it, I was like, it's about to be cold. I was like, it's about to be very cold. And then they started forecasting the snow and the cold snap, and I'm like, dude, it's no coincidence that every time right before it gets cold or we have humid, wet weather, we see the skies look like that. And there's this guy who put a video up yesterday that I was watching. He was talking about this as well, and I think he's from North Carolina, and he was like, man, the week leading up to it, it was just crazy. All this last week, it's been that way. He's like, but he said he left the state, or left the country a couple days ago, like right before this second real big cold snap and winter storm started. And he was like, dude, I think he said it was like a cruise or something like that. He was traveling internationally, and like had connecting flights and all this other stuff. He's like, dude, you don't see that anywhere else. Nowhere else. He was like, not only that, but it was like decent or warm weather. He said, and the only place that I saw the sky covered in streaks like that again, he was like, when I got back to whatever, airport connecting flight in the United States, he said, it was like that. The sky was like that. He said, and then I looked at the forecast for the next, he's like, and it was about to be super cold there. It hadn't been, but it was about to be. And he was like, it was the last place in the United States that like was getting hit by this. And he was like, dude, there's something to all that. And I agree. I mean, I agree. It's not natural. These cold snaps like this, and yeah, it's natural to snow. It's natural to get cold and all that, but there's just some very weird. That's like the snow yesterday sticking to itself. We tried to make snowballs and snowmen and stuff like that, and it was impossible for us to get like the body of the snowman put together. Every time we made a snowball, we'd finally get one. It's like, okay, it's stuck together. Let's start rolling it in the snow. And it would fall apart as soon as and I was like, okay, maybe it's not cold enough. Maybe it's too cold. So we waited. Then we waited again. Then we tried it when it stopped snowing. We did like nothing about this snow felt normal to me. And maybe that's just me, but it was just weird. So anyhow, I love y'all. I hope you have a good day. Be safe out there if you're in this weather. Don't do anything stupid, but enjoy it. So take care, y'all.